Hello and welcome to HMS TechTalks. A few years ago, we talked a lot about 5G and how that would revolutionize the industry, both when it comes to communication speeds and unwiring industrial applications. Lately, there has not been so much talk about 5G. Does that mean that it's now implemented, everybody's using it, or has it not fulfilled its promises? That's what we're going to talk about in today's episode, together with Jens Jakobsen, Development Manager, and Fredrik Brynolf, Product Manager here at HMS. So welcome, guys.
Thank you.
So Jens, I know that you have been involved a lot with the rollout of 5G with the organization 5G ICEA, and we've been launching the world's first router for 5G, and you've also been lecturing and writing on 5G. If we backtrack to 2019, 20, and up till today, from your perspective, what has happened? Where are we today?
Yes. So 2019, well, it's been a long time when you say it like this. And I think we've been on this journey where we saw 2019, there's this new technology. We have a tremendous need for wireless communication in factories to get flexibility and optimize production and so on. So we started this activity within HMS Labs on 5G. And we've been on this journey where we started working with technology companies like Ericsson and Qualcomm, Nokia, to test if this could be used for industrial communication. And then after this initial phase, we started working with mainly the car manufacturers because they wanted to test out this technology to see if it could be used for optimizing their factories.
Right, inside the factories and in the plants themselves.
Inside the factories, yes, exactly. And then after this, we have gotten the mobile operators on board, and they realized that there's a market here. We want to sell to the factories, but we need an ecosystem. So we've been partnering with the mobile operators to get our devices certified, and so they have something to go to market with. And then along this journey, we first, like we mentioned, we took out the first industrial router. We got that certified and put it on the market. Not to the broad market of the HMS customers, but only selected customers. We call them concept products. And then this has been used mainly by factory users themselves. But then we saw that as the market was moving along, we needed something that could be used by the machine builders. Because long-term for HMS, the way we typically sell is that we sell devices to machine builders, and then the machine builders sell to the factories. So we wanted a device similar to that for 5G, and this is where we created this product that we call the 5G Bolt. So it's a small device that you can put, for example, on the top of an ADV, and then that can use the 5G network of the factory.
Right. Yeah, we're going to talk more about that later. But what have you seen when it comes to applications? Who have been the early adopters here? Can we see any trends in that?
So I think clearly, and this has been a big discussion, who should be using 5G and who should be using Wi-Fi. And we see that the early adopters are the ones that have the huge manufacturing plants. So it's typically the car manufacturers because they have huge plants and they have indoor and outdoor. So it's hard to cover with Wi-Fi. We also see a lot of private networks going into mining and ports and harbors, so airports and normal harbors. Right, okay. You see the private networks going in as well.
Yeah. How does it work from an ecosystem perspective? Do they put this network up themselves, or do they need to talk to a cellular supplier, or how does the infrastructure work?
Yeah, and that's another important question, and it's something that we had our CTO actually be part of a panel discussion back in 2019. Who should operate the 5G network in the factory? So this has been a big question, but now it seems that we have kind of focused on three different types of operators for the networks in the factories. And one type of operator is the mobile operators. So they have the experience with the cellular networks. They can sell this as an add-on sales to the factories. They're very experienced in the cellular networks, but they, of course, do not have so much experience with the factory automation. And then at the other end of the spectrum, we see the industrial companies. So, for example, Siemens, they have now launched a full 5G offering with both the network, like the 5G cellular network, but also the devices. So you purchase this from Siemens, and Siemens, of course, is very experienced with the PLCs and everything around factory automation, but they do not have so much experience with cellular networks. And then the third actor within the mobile networks for private networks within factories is the IT systems integrators. So, for example, Infosys, Tech Mahindra, Capgemini, they already operate the IT networks of the factories, and they can offer 5G networks as an extension to the 5G to the IT system.
Right. Okay. So they can add that on. Okay. So there are different options to choose from, with some upsides and downsides to each, with the competence, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Jens. Fredrik, we are now launching the first actual branded products on 5G with the 5G Bolt that Jens mentioned. Tell us more about this product.
Yeah, we're really excited about this, Thomas. So our development teams have been working really hard to launch this product. And we're launching two products. So we're launching the Bolt 5G. That's the Bolt form factor, but with 5G.
That you kind of bolt onto a machine.
Exactly. You bolt it on. It's a M50 screw-in connection. So you make a hole, and then you screw it in. You get an IP67 seal. And we have 4 internal antennas that are pre-directed, so you get optimal coverage, and you don't need to make holes for 4 different antennas. Okay. So it's really user-friendly. So that's what you would put near the machine or on the machine. And then we have our tunneling gateway that you put close to the 5G core network, where you have your factory PLC controlling all the different cells or lines. And these two together creates a layer 2 network. Because one of the issues with 5G is that it only operates on a layer 3. And most of the industrial networks require layer 2 functionality for some functions. So that's why we create this network, and then you can run your Profinet, Ethernet IP as usual over 5G.
Right, so you need a tunneling gateway to get on the layer 2 to enable this industrial communication.
Yeah.
We've had this function for a while with the 5G Bolt in the labs function, but we're now branding it as Anybus. From the previous experience and seeing how this is being used, who have been the early adopters? Where do we see interest in the 5G Bolt?
I mean, labs and Jens' team has explored a couple of different use cases. So active antenna use case, the Ethernet tunnel use case, but also the edge processing use case. And there's interest in all of these use cases, but we as Anybus, we are focused on the industrial Ethernet use case. So enabling industrial networks on 5G in the factory, because this is our home turf, and this is where we can bring a lot of knowledge to our customers and really help them make the journey from a cable to going wireless with 5G. It's quite a journey.
There are a lot of different options that you can make when you're deciding on which type of 5G network you want to use, but you're also kind of limited. There are not too many 5G networks that are available when it comes to bands and so on. Could you elaborate a little bit on that, Tom?
Yeah, according to the Global Supplier Association, there are currently about 1,400 private 4G or 5G networks worldwide. But it's growing by 50% the last couple of years. So it's growing really quickly. And we can also see that industrial application is a really large chunk of the total installed base. So that includes industrial automation, mines, and similar facilities.
Right, okay. So listening to you guys, it seems a little bit that we're now moving from the hype phase more into a phase where we're actually starting to see the first real applications. Would you say that that's true, Jens?
Yeah, I think that's very, very much true. Like one of my colleagues expressed it when we were at the Hannover Fair. He said that, oh, now it's really 5G winter, isn't it? Yeah. So the hype has kind of gone, and people have listened to all the visions, but now it's time to look at the realities. But at the same time, and this is also at the Hannover Fair, we have companies coming up and says, okay, we installed the 5G network, we have such and such a plant. Now we're looking for devices. So we need a barcode scanner that I can put on my 5G network. Where is it? And same thing, system integrators coming up and say, so we have a network with 300 base stations. how can I solve this particular use case? Right. So we move from this discussion about the future to now we need to solve the problem that our customers have here and now. Yeah. So that's very exciting.
Exactly. Solve real communication problems with 5G, right? So ending up here, how do you see 5G in the future? From your perspective, Fredrik, with the 5G Bolt, how do you see that going forward?
I mean, I think we need to be realistic. It will take some time for companies to switch from a cable to a wireless solution. But I think that the journey has started, and the early adopters are seeing some of the benefits, and they're realized on the factory floor. And we will see more companies picking this up and trying it out. And then slowly there will be a lot of growth within 5G. Mm-hmm.
Right. It is a conservative business, of course. It always takes time for these things to roll out, but it's interesting to see that we're now actually solving problems with it. Jens, from a more technology point of view, how do you see this going forward?
Well, I think that if we go back 10 years, like most factories did not have any wireless communication at all. And now we have moved to this stage where all factories have some kind of wireless communication. And you see that the factories, they need the wireless communication in order to stay competitive and flexible and adapt to changes and so on. So there's a lot of wireless technology going into the factories, but there's also a lot of frustration because until now you have always used cables, and then we come with a new technology. It gives you the freedom, but it also gives you new challenges in the factory. And this is where we see that the use case really is to have the mobility and the flexibility. And we have different solutions. We have Bluetooth, we have wireless LAN, we have LTE, and now we have 5G. So we have the full palette of technologies you can use. And it's not that one technology will solve all the problems. So you kind of need to pick the technology that's best.
Yeah, right. But the industry is slowly unwiring, indeed. Excellent. Jens, Fredrik, thanks very much for talking to us. If you want to know more about our Tech Talks, visit our website, hmsnetworks.com/technologies, and you can find more about different subjects such as 5G. Thanks very much for listening.